Okay, we're live. Coming to you live from the Boss Babe Call. We are so excited. The cheetahs, consultants, and directors, and we all went over to Waverly, Georgia, and there's a place called Honey Creek, and it's a campground, and that's where we had our fall retreat this weekend. And so there were 17 of us, with including our A team, and we just had a blast. So you're going to get to hear from them today. I'm so excited about that, as they're all jumping on here. And so I am going to be calling them one by one. They're going to share 3 or 4 minutes of. I told them to keep it to 3, so I might have to. There's a lot of us. But anyway, if anybody gets too long, I'll just have to mute you. And then I'll say, she was muted, next. So don't be in a panic, though. We just, we want to have time for everybody to speak for a minute. But we had a great time. Before we start what we're going to talk about, for all our speakers, I want to remind you guys about a couple of things. First of all, the New York Makeover Contest, it started yesterday. So you can go ahead, anybody that you facial since November 1st, go ahead and be posting those, or tell your customers to post them on Instagram, or go to the website and post them for that contest. And all the rules are on there. It's exciting. It's a great way for you to,
who did like it.
It's a great, I'm going to go ahead and mute. I know you can't control your husband's talking in the background, can you? You tell them not to, but they keep talking, Larry. I got you muted now, so I can't hear what you're saying. But anyway, if you will look on the on Mary Kay In Touch, you can see all the rules for that. Now, one thing I want to tell you is that in the lookbook for the Preferred Customer Program, there is, I didn't realize they were doing this, but there is a whole card. I put it on the Boss Babe Boxer Route, but in case you didn't see it, there's a whole look card that's going to come out in the books that are coming out tomorrow, and this week your customers will be getting them, that has 3 eyeshadows and a cheek color for a look. So it gives you a reason to call every single person you put on the Preferred Customer Program and say, hey, I'm just checking. Did you get your book I sent you? Did you notice the samples in there of our new Chroma Fusion? I would love to, if you had a chance to try them, I'd love to get together with you and actually enter you in a contest to win a trip to New York City and $1,000 in spending money. And even after that, there's 100 people that are going to win $100 of, there's going to win free Mary Kay and a $100 gift card. So all we have to do is I have to just get with you for a few minutes, let you try the product, and we have to post a little picture on Instagram. And so, it's really easy. And I think people go, yeah, I'll get with you for a few minutes and do that. Why not? I mean, somebody is going to win. I know everybody thinks, well, it probably won't be me. Somebody is going to win. My sister, when she was a customer of mine, before she signed up, when I first got into Mary Kay, they had a hostess contest. It was a company-wide hostess contest. And my sister won one of the alternate things, but it was $175 of Mary Kay, which like now would be like the value of like $300. So, and then I don't remember if I won anything, but she won, and it was exciting. So, people do win these things. You see them when they go. So it would be so awesome for one of our Boss Babe consultants to win, and one of their customers, and you get to take a friend and she gets to take a friend. So I want to be your friend when you win. I know you thought about taking your husband, but he don't care about Fashion Week, but your director does. Anyway, I'm just messing with you. Some of y'all gonna win and feel guilty if you don't ask me. I fully expect you to take your husband. So, but if he don't want to go, just remember me. Okay, so that's what's going on. You guys, Thanksgiving is coming up. I was telling someone about us picking up Brad's daughter. We're picking her up on Friday, and she'll be with us for a week. And I was saying, hey, it's going to be the Friday before Thanksgiving, blah, blah, blah. And then she texts me back. She goes, this Friday? I said, this Friday? It's this Friday, and it's this Friday. So I don't know how that first 11 days has gone, but yeah, it's Thanksgiving is not this week, but next week. So the great thing about that is Black Friday, or our Pink Friday, is 2 weeks from Friday. So I posted some things on our Cheetah Nation group page. Most of you, your directors are on there, and they can get it off of there. But you guys can go on there and figure out what you're going to do for Pink Friday. I mean, I do the same thing every year. There's a lot of cool things you can do. The only thing I'm doing right now is I'm putting on my page, be on the lookout for Pink Friday. Specials are going to be announcing later on this site, you know, and so I will probably post the specials actually a week early, like probably on Friday. And the only reason is because some people take off all week, and I may have like their work email or something like that, and then they don't get it. And they've told me that before, you know. So I will probably post them a week early and let people get ready for them. And then some people will ask me, oh, can I go ahead and do it? And I say no. No, you can't. I mean, I'll give them 15% off, but they're going to have to wait till Friday. Why? Because it's just like the department stores. I can't go in to Belts and say, can I go and get that Black Friday special? They're like, no, come back, you know, whatever. So, but you know what? It don't really matter, does it? I mean, why wouldn't I give it to them? But I'm not going to, because it makes it more fun for me to get all the orders in one day. It's more work for me, and that's the way I like it. But anyway, so that's going to be a fun day for us. We definitely want to be putting products on people's faces for the contest, because that will be over with before you know it. And, you know, be gearing up for Christmas. I know some of my consultants are talking about doing a little jingle mingle and, you know, having some products out. So that'll be a lot of fun too. So without any further ado, I want to, let me just check off. What's this there? I want to tell you who won the prize from last week. And she is actually on the Voxer group tonight. So let's see if she's listening, and let's see if she acts the prize, right? Okay, so last week the drawing goes to Elizabeth Mitchell. Whoop! Here, I'll unmute her. You're unmuted, Elizabeth.
Yay!
Congratulations.
That's exciting.
I know. So, hey, on the Boss Babe Boxer group, if you will just at some point text your address on there. I mean, I've got it, but if you'll just text it, it'll save me time. And Stephanie DeMar is going to send it to you. She had something. She wasn't going to be on tonight. But anyway, so she said if you would put it on there, that she will text you back. I mean, that she will send you your prize. So congratulations. So proud of you. So excited for you. And then I saw Emily just jumped on. That's good. Okay. I just want to verify one quick thing. That right there. Who is 229-326-2109?
That's me, Cleta, Pam.
That's you, Pam? Okay. Oh, Pam, you're on here. All right. Well, Pam, I'm putting you back in the same order you were in then. Okay? All right, good. Lorna, you're going to be behind Misha. Okay, let me just put that. Okay. All right, I'm going to mute everybody out again real quick, and then we're going to get going. So here's the thing. I'm going to just get to speaker view so I can do it this way, and then it'll highlight the person who's speaking. So our retreat this weekend was our fall retreat. I know a lot of you have already been on yours, and I kind of felt like in October that I was missing. I'm like, how did I miss the fall retreat? So we all went, and it was a campground, real rustic. Dawn Alton Sweeney, the national sales director, she was the national that came, and then Tina D, she's top director, and Lynn Purser, who's an executive director, put it on. And there were, I think about 80, I heard, no, there were 90 people there. And so it was a fun event. It was a crazy event. It's good when you have to rough it every now and then out in the woods. Makes you appreciate your home bed. But says my internet is unstable. Let me just do something real quick. But anyway, everybody absolutely loved it, and I think some thought patterns were changed. And so I have asked the girls that went to the retreat that they would get on here and talk for a few minutes. And it could be a tip maybe that you guys could learn from them, or it could be something that changed in them. Or I just said anything they'd like to share just for 2 or 3 minutes apiece. And I think you guys will really enjoy it. And, you know, you might want to take some notes. Okay? So I'm first going to start with Sandra Griffin, and I'm going to, let me find her. Hang on, Miss Griffin. Where are you, Sandra? I don't see her. Okay, for some reason I don't see Sandra Griffin, so we'll go ahead and start with, we're going to start with Pam. So let me unmute Pam. Pam is not on video, So we will just, you'll just be hearing from her just by phone. Okay. So Pam, take it away, sister.
Okay. Hey, everyone. I just had such a fabulous time, and it was just really surreal to even sit there with Miss Dawn and be one of the 16 that was actually with her training. And it was just a God moment to see. I was just actually one of those out of all the women that actually got time with her. So that was pretty cool. But one of the things I learned that was really hit home with me is to manage your expectations. Sometimes we expect family and friends to support us. We expect immediate results, or we expect a harvest when we've done little work, et cetera. And then we get discouraged when those things don't come to pass right away. And we get a quitter's mindset. We want to throw in the towel because what we expected didn't happen the way that we thought God should make it happen. So here's what I learned from that: to avoid us getting discouraged and having a quitter's mindset, or we want to work one day, not the next day. Keep your vision clear in your mind. You got to know where God's going to take you. You can't get discouraged when things don't happen overnight. Trust God's plan. If He's giving you that vision, He's going to bring it forward. And then find an accountability partner. I love that Selah and Cleta, you and Janet, you're keeping me accountable. When my emotions go up and down, y'all are always reminding me, where's God taking you? What's God doing in your life? And bringing that, even correcting me. So I appreciate that, because I remember my vision. I know God's going to allow me to get to that point, but I cannot allow my expectations and my emotions to get in the way of God's plan for my life. So I just encourage each one of y'all to just to keep that vision clear and know that God's going to take you there, but to manage, what you're expecting every day. And I do believe that we should expect God to do great things in our life, but I believe that we should also, just be mindful of that. We can't just expect things to happen when, just right today. And if it doesn't happen, then we fall off the bandwagon. I think we should hold our, emotions and everything in check.
Perfect.
That's all I got to say.
That is awesome, Pam. Thank you so much. And Pam was one of the few that got to go to the Red Jacket class with Dawn, and she actually was with them from lunchtime all the way to 3 o'clock. I'm like, what all is she saying to them in there for that long? But what an honor for them to get that special private time with her. And so thank you so much, Pam. We're so glad that you are in Red. And I'll have to have a little shout out for Pam, because she got 3 new recruits last week, 3 of them. One was on here tonight. So we're so excited for her. She will be one of our next DIQs in the Cheetah Nation area. So thank you. Thank you so much, Pam. I appreciate that. That was a good word. Okay. I'm going to mute her out. All right, Sandra, I've got you live.
Okay.
Sandra Griffin. Here we go.
Hello, ladies. The retreat was great. It was an awesome experience, and just a few little tidbits. The main thing that I took away was stay focused on planting seeds. Dawn did a little scenario about she used cards, and it's like, if you put one seed in the ground, it's not going to multiply too much. It's probably going to make one plant. So you have to continue to put more seeds in the ground for your plant to multiply. That was one of the main things that I got from her. And then the other thing was, I think Lynn Purser said this. She said, a leader has to think differently. A leader has to lead herself first before she can lead. She has to lead herself. And she just kind of put some points to what a leader can do to lead herself before she can lead others. And she was just saying, to keep herself focused, which is what we all should do. Some of the things that we all should do is the 6 most important list. Just think about, who am I going to talk to today, and get to that level, and to get to that level that you want to get to, and what do I have to stop to get to that level that you want to get to, and what could stop me to get to that level that you need to get to. And don't fool yourself. Think about what it is that you are or aren't doing to get to that level, and not make excuses, but just either you have to stop watching whatever social media or whatever. But to be a leader, you have to know what's stopping you from getting to that level, and just lead yourself first before you can lead others. You have to be the example that you're trying to get. And thirdly, be God's best. Be the best self that God created you to be. And look for these characteristics in others, like be obedient. Just look for the characteristics that our company, focuses on: God first, family second, career third. Just kind of, be focused on that, and it's all about others. It's not about ourselves.
I love it. Okay. Thank you, Sandra. Awesome. I'm so glad you were in that room with her as a red jacket and got that special training. And, that's what she did on Thursday night is she met with all the directors in that room. And so all of y'all, in my opinion, are all the future directors that were sitting in that room. So thank you for sharing that. I love that. And honestly, just that simple thing of doing the 6 most important things list every night before you go to bed. And just, one of the things I share with the directors is that sometimes we make that list, and then for some reason the next day we look at it and we don't want to do it. But you need to remember that at night when you wrote it down, you did want to do it, or you wouldn't have wrote it on your list. So when you wake up, whatever that girl is that wakes up, say, look, the boss was the girl last night, and that's your assignment. So you have to do it. Because sometimes we write something down, call so-and-so, and then we look at that and go, what else could I do? I don't want to do that one. And but you do want to do it, or you wouldn't have wrote it down. So thank you for that reminder. Those are some really great tips. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to, I'm going to mute up Sandra, and I'm going to get Ann Peoples. There she is. Okay, Ann, take it away.
Well, Sanders went over about everything I was go over, but main thing I got out of was be obedient to God. God give you the vision to be a director or national, whatever it is, be obedient to him and get out and work to reach that level. Don't sit back and say, well, I couldn't do it today. You got to get up and you got to do. You can't stop. You need to look at your target market when you're recruiting people. Make sure they're in that target you're looking for and not just anybody. That way you'll get more leaders on your team that's going to get out and work and move up and help you move up. So, also, Tina Dees, she done a little thing with us where we put a circle on a page and we put in it that what was our wildest dreams we wanted to do. And then in each corner we put like 12 months where we wanted to be, 6 months where we wanted, 9 months where we wanted to be, 6 months where we wanted to be a month. And she told us that is our wildest dreams in the center. So we have to do all these others on the outside first before we can get to our wildest dreams. So that means we've got to get out and work and not be idle all the time. And to do the 6 most important thing list every day and do your weekly planner. And I've already started doing my weekly planner and my 6 important things. And I see I've already I've got 5 appointments for this week.
Wow.
So it does help.
Okay. Thank you, Ann. And congratulations for being a team leader at this event. And she was on one of the courts as well as many of these ladies were. So that's awesome. I love that about the wildest dreams in the center, and that you got to do the outside stuff so you can get that middle one. And so
yes.
That is perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Let's see. We're going to bring up, I don't see Tammy Skipper on here. So and I don't see Heather on here. So I'm going to move to Joanna. So I'm going to mute out Let's see if I can mute out Miss Ann, and then I'm going to grab Joanna. Okay, Joanna Griffin, new red jacket. Come on down.
Hey, first of all, before the weekend started, I prayed to God on Thursday night, I think it was, for something specific. And without going into detail about what that was, while Dawn was speaking Friday night, I actually wrote this prayer as she was speaking. I said, God, thank you. This is exactly what I asked of you. I thank you for your faithfulness and what you're doing, even during the times when I don't see it. I loved it when she said, you bury your gifts and talents. And when she talked about not squandering our time. And then it was just further confirmation when Selah mentioned to make a decision, do the work, and trust that God is going to take care of you. And Dawn said that you have to repeatedly give it over to God. You're getting so frustrated with where you are that you're not enjoying the journey. All of that really hit home with me because for a few weeks now, night after night, I'll just lay there and look at my inventory, and I've been so frustrated with myself and what I'm not doing. All that does is cause me to worry, become more anxious and depressed, and now I feel rejuvenated to make the decision to do the work and to trust that God is going to take care of me. I loved it when Dawn said to surround yourself with friends who make you better. That's what I feel like being a part of Mary Kay and Cheetah Nation is for me. I also want to be careful to remember that the next time I walk into someone's home to do that facial, that it's not about me or about how much money I'm going to make. It's about the lady that I'm going to visit and how I'm going to make her feel better about herself. It's about planting seeds along the way, relationally and with Mary Kay, which is what Janet shared with us during our time with her. I'm so thankful that I had the opportunity to hear and meet Janet. This was the first time I had ever heard from her. And it was so obvious to me that she is a true woman of God. I was absolutely amazed by her genuine love for Christ and others and her confidence in Mary Kay and herself. Janet reminded us that we have to believe it's easy to be in our red jacket. She went on to say that we have to believe in ourselves and speak where we are going. What do you want to accomplish and who do you want to take with you? Another recruiting tip that I thought was huge, yet so simple, that Janet shared was sell the company. Be passionate about Mary Kay, the company. The products sell itself once you put it on their face. And I know that's so true. Janet encouraged us to ask God to put the women in our path that he wants us to recruit and to give them the ability to come in with inventory. And that just reminded me that I need to be more specific with what I'm asking God for. Janet also shared the importance of staying focused on the positive and where you are headed. I too enjoyed what Lynn Purser said about, as a leader, you have to think differently. I've never heard from any of these ladies, but I can tell you this weekend was phenomenal as far as the training and how everything seemed to tie together. All of the directors and their wisdom that they shared with us, it was just like one flowed right into the next. And to me, that's totally by God's design. I'm so thankful that I went this weekend because I feel like I have come home and I have a fresh start with my Mary Kay business. I already have several appointments on my book that I didn't have going into the weekend. I was getting so depressed looking at my inventory thinking I've got to get out and do something. Of course, I'd have reorders, and I'm thankful for those, but I've been letting fear, the fear of rejection and self-doubt get in the way and hold me back from sharing this opportunity with other women, even though I know as a believer that fear does not come from Christ. As Dawn said, he has planted a seed of greatness within each of us. He did not plant a seed of fear. So in closing, this time next year, I totally have the vision of myself as a director. For one, Lord knows I need those director sleeping and bathroom arrangements. But plus, I want to give my husband one of those awesome director trips. When you and Tina were talking about the details of that, my husband is my best friend, and there's no, we talk about travel and all that kind of thing, but I would just love to be able to give that to him. And that's exactly what I want. So I think you have to have a clear vision of it. And I think up until this point, I've had sight and not vision.
Mm-hmm. I love it. That was perfect, Joanna. And I'm glad you mentioned that at the end. I told her, I said, Shirley, you know how to rough it? You ever been to camp? She goes, no. She said, I've never roughed it, not one single day in my whole entire life. I'm like, well, praise the Lord. Now you can appreciate a soft, clean bed and a private bathroom. So, Joanna, I'm proud of you for sticking it out. I know you might have been thankful it was only one night, but you did good. You did good. And we're so excited for you. And that's exactly one of the biggest things I got was that, work from your vision, not with what your sight, what you see happening. You can't evaluate all the time. Track your numbers, but you put in that time. So thank you. Every single thing you said was great. And it's funny, I didn't know you had not met Janet. I guess you hadn't been at the meetings that she was at. So that's so cool that you met one of our Cheetah Nation directors too. So thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, I'm going to go to your buddy, your person, Elizabeth Mitchell. So I'm going to, let's see. Let me mute out Miss Joanna, and I'm going to pull up Elizabeth. Okay, this is Elizabeth Mitchell. You got Elizabeth, take it away.
Well, for those that don't know me, I'm new in Mary Kay since July. And so I've never been to any Mary Kay event with other people other than just the Cheetah Nation success meetings that we do on Monday. So I really signed up for the fall retreat, not because of any of that, but because I really just wanted to get away with my friends and the sisters that I have already made through Mary Kay. I just wanted really to get away for one night, away from my kids and my husband, because I never do. But what happened was I got something way more than what I ever expected out of it. I went thinking that, I'm probably going to sit in some good meetings and maybe I'll learn something in some training. But really for me, it was way more like a spiritual retreat than it really was even business. In fact, I told my father-in-law today, he was like, well, what did you do? Like, what kind of thing was this? Was this like a kumbaya kind of thing? And I was like, no, this was like a spiritual uplifting that I needed. And he just kind of looked at me like, oh my goodness. It just really spoke to me, like all the women that spoke and their journey with Christ and just the things that they were saying. I know that Christ was speaking through them to me. One of the things that I loved is being able to hear Dawn Alton-Sweeney and what she said about not burying your dreams and your talent, and not burying your talents and your gifts that the Lord gives you. And that so many women do that we have these gifts that God's given us and we don't use them for fear or just because we don't do vision. We just do sight, like Joanna was saying. And I was so inspired by her and her journey and what she has overcome. And it is one of the reasons why I will definitely be at the Jumpstart in February. Like if you're not planning to go, you need to clear that weekend and just plan to go, because it was so much today. This retreat was so much more than what I ever expected. And I know it's going to be even more awesome in February. But one of the things in our individual, when we went in individual meetings and training, is that one of the directors, her name's Shirley, she talked about attitudes, dreams, and goals. And one of the things she said was about we need to every morning say to ourselves some daily affirmation that whether you record yourself or you read a devotional or something, you need to give something positive to start your day, because the negative is going to get on you when you go out into the world. And if you don't start your day with the daily affirmation of, that you are awesome, that you are made by God, and that you have talents and gifts that He's given you. And then she said something else that really moved me. And she was talking about stinking thinking and that negativity that we constantly get in our heads. And she said, your thoughts can change your actions, and your actions can change your life. And that just really spoke to me, that I am positive for other people, but I am not for myself. Like I'm a social worker at my core. And so I'm always lifting other people up, but I don't do that for myself. And so that really spoke to me about, if I believe that the things I say to other people can uplift them, they can do that for me. And so I need to be pouring those skills and talents into myself. And that just really spoke to me, that if the thoughts can change your actions, and your actions can change your life. And then the other thing that on Saturday, when we were in the general meeting, somebody said something so simple that I know that we constantly, don't do. And they said, when someone asks you what you do, you say, I own my own business. You don't say you do Mary Kay. You say, I own my own business, and you wait for them to ask you what that is. And then you say, I own my own Mary Kay business. And that just really was so simple, like the mindset of like, I don't just do Mary Kay. This isn't something that I do. I am Mary Kay. This is who I am. It's like be the brand, wear the brand, be the brand. This is who I am. It's not something that I do. And I just really enjoyed that. And it was such a wonderful retreat in that I learned great skills for Mary Kay, but I learned skills for my life, for me to feel my spirit. And that's more than I ever expected to get out of it. I really thought I was going to get like a night away from my little one who still goes up in the middle of the night. The sleeping arrangements, I'm with Joanna. I need to be a director. Her and I need to have like shared bathroom experience. So
I love it. Elizabeth, that was so good. It's inspiring. And Shirley Jenkins, I'm glad you went to that class, because I hadn't heard anything about her. So that, about what she taught. I love the last thing you said. Well, that on the business, but your thoughts can change your actions, and then your actions change your life. So we have to control our thoughts. That's just perfect. And I'm so happy that you came. It's hard you sell an event to your unit, but they've never been to anything. Then you just have to, the ones that come really because they trust their director, that they're not going to lead them astray. So thank you and Joanna both for coming. I know Joanna went to something years ago, but I appreciate you coming and trusting us that we're going to give you something good. So now you can sell it to your people because you've been. So thank you for sharing that. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to mute you. And then we're going to go with Linda Wingate next. And let me find you, Linda. Okay, Linda, you're unmuted.
One of the main things I learned this weekend is the importance of going to all the training that you can possibly go to. As some of the other ladies have talked about, we didn't have the most ideal situation as far as where we slept and what have you. But I think that can teach us that as long as we have the right attitude, that we can make anything fun. When I was in college here in Valdosta, I lived in the dorm for, back then it was quarters, for a couple of quarters, and we lived in a dorm that had been a men's dorm. So we had the community showers and all that. So that was not such a shock to me, because what we did then was we performed. That's what we did this weekend. But the fact that we had Dawn there was excellent. She is an excellent trainer, and I invested in her CDs, which I have already started listening to, and I certainly do not regret purchasing them. But one thing that I took away from this weekend was not only did we learn a lot from her, but all of the directors have such different ways of presenting things. They have different ideas, And I learned so much from them. The fact that, I mean, we're blessed. The Cheetahs are blessed to have Cleta, because she is such an excellent teacher, and we if we don't understand something, all we have to do is contact her. But if if we go to are invited to different things, and there's not a national there, and they say, "Oh, I don't want to go," it's just you're wrong if you don't think that you will greatly benefit from hearing the different directors. And if there's ever an opportunity for us to go to any training, we are hurting ourselves if we do not attend. Just this weekend just taught me so much, and gave me so many good ideas. And one thing I learned was I'm not too old to be a director. There was a director there older than me. And she was very vivacious, and she did a great job as a Spice Girl. And there's just so much that we were entertained in between the serious things that we learned. And one of the main things that the lady that had been in the service, Jennifer, she stressed to us to do away with the word try. We're not going to try to do anything. We are going to do it. We may not accomplish it the first time, but we will persevere, and we will, as long as we have the right attitude, the right determination, and the willingness to work, we can accomplish anything that we want to. And we need to make sure that we're looking at the target market when we're talking to the women. One of it may have been Dawn that emphasized the different places you go to look for potential recruits, and we need to take advantage of the places that we can go locally, and we have to work, but we can be successful. And again, the main thing I can stress is that any training that we have the opportunity to go to, I just feel like if we are serious about wanting to succeed, then we need to take advantage of all the training we can get, because wherever I've been, Satan does not lead us astray. If she offers us the opportunity for training, then we need to take advantage of it. And I thank you for giving us this opportunity. It was fun. It was different, and I was a Girl Scout, so I had rushed it before, and I enjoyed it. I learned so much. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you so much. And Linda is a trooper. I mean, I'm telling you what, I've never seen anybody. She don't let anything get her down. It don't matter what's happened. She is going to be there. I mean, so I'm so glad you came, Linda, and you're so cute. And I thought the same thing when Joanne Joyner was talking, who's 72 years old. I'm like, she makes Linda feel like a young chick. So I'm so glad that you had a chance to chat with her as well. So thank you so much for sharing. That was excellent. Okay. Next, I'm going to unmute Emily Ray, and Emily is in Janet's unit. And so, Emily, just share with us a little bit of what your takeaway was.
I learned a lot. I I was having trouble getting started to get packed and get out, but I am so glad I did. We had so much fun and run around a Walmart in the middle of the night. It was a blast. But we had a drawing, and I won this 365 days of Mary Kay inspirations, and it's exactly what I needed. I turned to this page why I first opened it, and it says, everybody has an invisible sign hanging from their neck. Make me feel important. Never forget this message when you're working with people. And that was just, you don't think about stuff like that, but everybody wants to feel important whenever you're dealing with anything. And it was just, oh, I'm so glad I won that book. I just had a few little things that I wanted to talk about. I was in the class, Gail Carter had started, and she was talking about the booking list, and you have to have at least 50 names on your booking list, and always keep it running. Whenever you call on folks and everything, add more people to your booking list and get more people to tell you, their friends and all, and the family, other names and stuff to keep the booking list running. And to schedule a time block to call all these people, I've never done that. I know I probably should have, so I can sit down and actually speak to the people. And a basket of free gifts for all the referrals. You can use all your limited edition stuff that nobody's buying anymore, and put it in a basket for referrals to encourage folks to give you people's names. I also listened to Deb Thrift. She's awesome. I love her. She says, go to the skin classes to play. Don't worry about your bills at home and what you're wanting to get out of the skincare class. Go to have fun, and things will be a lot better for you instead of thinking about all the bills that you owe. And become a master consultant and know your numbers and keep everything in check. And then I also had Jennifer Alston, and I loved her to death. I wanted to bring her home with me and stick her in my back pocket. But something I have to work on is I need to look the part, think the part, be in the mindset. She said, your fans are out there. You got to get dressed up, get your hair done, get your makeup on, and go out there because your fans are out there looking for you. And that's about it.
That's perfect. I love that. Thinking of yourself as like, look, I got to look good because my fans are out there. They're trying to find me. So,
exactly.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. And all of that is good. Especially the part, I like what you said about go to your parties to have fun. Like, yes. Don't be so uptight, and you have fun. If you're having fun, they're going to have fun. I always laugh at my parties. I know some of these people think, if that crazy woman can do Mary Kay, I know I can. So, Emily, thank you so much. That was some really good nuggets. Okay, I'm going to go to Misha next. So, hang on just a second, Miss Misha. Okay, Misha, you're up.
Okay. Well, honestly, I almost didn't make it there. I almost didn't make it there. But when I was thinking about not coming, I said, no, every time you get into that mode where it's making it difficult for you to go somewhere, that's usually just Satan trying to stop you from getting whatever word you're supposed to be getting. So just go on, even if you're late, just go ahead and go and get what you're supposed to get. So that was the first part of it. But there were a few things that stuck out. Most of the people who were in the same classes already talked about most of them. But I did get a lot of things to reflect on, things to tweak, and just a little extra shot in the arm for my Mary Kay business. That was good. One of the things that stood out that nobody talked about so far was I forget which director talked about it, but she was I think it was the lady who put it on Daughter. I can't remember people's names. I'm sorry, y'all. But she talked about 2 Corinthians 12:7-10, where Paul is talking about his thorns and the ones that God allowed and just to stay there instead of taking them away. And she had us list our thorns, and she made us write in big letters that these are not excuses. So it was a good reminder to not really use our thorns as excuses. And a lot of them to just use as reasons why we do have to succeed in our Mary Kay business. Also, what was the other thing? Oh, and then I did receive some confirmations and all other stuff. I know one thing that I kept telling Marina was like, I really have to up my skincare game. So I was like, there's no way Miss Cleta's gonna get carded for anything that you need the ID for, and then I don't because I'm not using the amount of skincare I'm supposed to use. I said I just refuse. So when Miss Jennifer said that if you're not using 4,000 retail, 2,000 wholesale per year personally in product, that you're not really using the product, it was like, okay, I need to evaluate that. But outside of that, we got some really great tips about recruiting, some good reminders about some of the business basics, and then they really did stress, being a master consultant.
Okay. Are you done?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. You know what? I'll tell you what. I'm so glad you came on because I think I could honestly say, I'm not 100% sure on this, but in my 30 years as a director, normally there's always somebody or two or three that don't make it to the conference. For whatever reason, the last day something happens. And this is probably one of the first times in a long, long time that all 17 people that registered came and nobody backed out at the last minute. I'm so proud of you for letting me be able to say that, because I know you were running a little bit late that day, but you made it, and you still got, Dawn talked at the end, so you didn't miss much. And, I agree with you 100%. When you feel like you, like Satan's going, you're just don't go, you're not going to make it, you're going to be late. That's when you really need to be there. So I'm so glad you pushed through, girl. I really am. So thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. It was awesome. Okay, we're going to go to Lorna Quinn. I'm going to unmute her. And Lorna is a member of the Linda Rousey unit, and she used to be in my friend Deborah Bishop's unit, and she's an adoptee of Janet. So Lorna is on telephone. So Lorna, we'd love to hear from you.
Oh, hello. This is the first time I've been on this call. I think I'll be joining it every Sunday night. So it seems to be very, very, very interesting. One of my main things, my biggest aha moment was when one of the directors was talking about when somebody asked you, and it's already been mentioned, what do you do for a living? And I always say, well, I'm an X-ray tech, blah, 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 blah. She said, no, you don't say that. You say that you're, you own your own business. And then they look startled or whatever, and then you say, tell them what you actually do with the Mary Kay. So, that gets a foot in the door, and then you maybe talk about the opportunity a little bit. And, of course, be excited when you're talking about your Mary Kay, because that excitement is catching. I also got reinforced about having classes scheduled, and you need to have more than one, because if the one cancels, what you got left is nothing. So if you've got 4 or 5 already on your books, if one cancels, it's okay, I'll take this time and I'll schedule more classes. Don't get discouraged because somebody cancels on you, because it happens. Life happens. And what I heard too was about what Misha was just talking about. The devil will try to stop you if he thinks you're going to find something good or take something away really good that's going to benefit you. He wants to stop you, because that's his, fear is one of his biggest things. And I have problems sometimes with that. I hate to drive long distances, but since I promised I would go, if I wound up having to drive, I would do it, because I promised. And I've always kept my promises about that. If I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And I just really enjoyed hearing different speakers and meeting new friends. It's been a while since I've been off like this, and I really enjoyed it. Even the mosquitoes and the hot room, but that's okay. Got some, we had some laughs and heard some good speaking, and had some, some of the things I've heard before, but it just got reinforced. And sometimes you have to hear something a million times before it finally sinks into your little brain.
Amen, sister. Amen. Well, and you know what's funny, for those of you that were not there that night, now we're in South Georgia and it's not winter yet. Now today it got cooler and yesterday it was cooler, but Friday night it still thought it was August, and it was 70, 80 degrees, and the air conditioner went out on that building, and it was not on all day. So we had fans going, and the guest speaker, Donna Sweeney, is from Michigan, and she's hotter than anybody else. But you know what? We just pushed through, and guess what? The next morning, the air worked. Of course, it was cold outside. Not cold, but cool. So, yeah, and the mosquitoes, yeah, that's South Georgia. When you're near water and you're in the woods, you're going to have them. So, but it makes for a great story. It makes for a great story. And then when you win the top director trip and you're staying at the Four Seasons all week long in Maui with someone waiting on you hand and foot, you're just so appreciative. So anyway, thank you so much, Lorna. We are so glad you came. And you always just bring a ray of sunshine to every single event you attend. And so we love you so much, girl. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. We are down to our sales directors. And I just want to glance to make sure some other ones that, okay, I don't see the ones that did not call in. Okay, so we're going to go to Selah next. Let me unmute her. And Selah was honored as a new sales director because she debuted, just a couple months ago. And so we were so happy to have her there as a sales director. And so Selah, take it away, girl.
Yes, it was so exciting to be there as a sales director. And, I have been in 23 years, and it is amazing that you think you will go to an event and not learn anything, but every time I walk away with such revelation. And really, this event was so confirming. Because as I've shared, I've been going through lots of changes and just wondering if I was headed in the right direction. But Dawn Sweeney, the national, one of the things that she said was, if your best isn't good enough, how oftentimes we say, well, I did my best. And she said, but if it doesn't get you to the goal, then you have to ask yourself, if my best isn't good enough, what do I need to change? And that was so powerful to me because I have said that a million times, well, I did my best. And she said, well, if you did your best and it didn't get you to the goal, then you need to evaluate and make an adjustment. And then one of the other things that was so powerful, she said that God's love language is obedience. And when you ask him to give you a revelation, be open to receive that. And remember that you will have to do something different to get something different. And I thought that was so, so good. She said that God's answer to your question is going to be something that you have not even thought about. And I know that often I'll say, Lord, okay, this is what's going on, and here are the choices, A, B, C, or D. And he said, E, none of the above. And so she said, just be open to the, to his revelation and his direction. And when he does give you new direction, don't take time to think about it. Just go, because we often want to manage the situation, but he is leading us in a different direction. And she said that, and he is looking for our obedience. And then the other thing that she said that was so powerful was that if you can't get out of it, if you can't get out of a situation, then get all the way in it. And it's, just like our theme was last year, all in. That's really what that statement meant to me. That, in other words, if you're sitting on the fence, if you're double-minded and you say, well, I want to be in it, but what about this or that? Then, and you don't want to walk away from it, then jump all the way in. It was a powerful weekend, and I just love those events because you get so close to not only the women in our area, but other women. And it always just is full of hope, just hope, because you hear the different stories of women who have truly overcome. And it was just, it was a God-filled event, and I loved it. So thank you.
Just take another second and tell about the Superstar Luncheon.
Yes. We got to go. Lynn Purser, the director that was in charge of the event, she hosted a luncheon yesterday after we finished for new directors and DIQs. And so I got to go, and Donna McIntosh was there. She's one of Shirley Jenkins' DIQs, and it was so awesome. Lynn doesn't live very far from Honey Creek, and she lives in a beautiful neighborhood in a beautiful brand new house. And actually, the National had stayed at her house and had helped kind of set the table, I think, for us that day. The National was already gone, but when we got there, we had salad and quiche and some awesome lemon meringue pie dessert. It was so nice, and I'm so thankful that I qualified to go. And I encourage all of you thinking about directorship to run to the position, because it is awesome.
Yes. Thank you, Selah. And Selah shared her story, and I shared it. It's on YouTube. And as Louise, who's going to speak next, but you want to go back and listen to those. There were 3 or 4, 5 stories of the directors, and they were all very inspirational. Each one of them were different. Each one of them had a different story and just a great message. So, Selah, we're all so proud of you, and I'm just so thankful that you were just sitting in the front with the sales directors and had a chance to share with everybody too. So, thank you. That was awesome. And I love what you said about if you can't get out of it, get all the way in it. I just love that. And
yes.
If your best isn't good enough, then what else are you going to do? I love that too. So thank you. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Laree, I'm going to unmute you here.
I already did.
Okay, thanks. Go for it, sister.
Hey, everybody. I love the thoughts that each of you have shared, and some of the points that Selah mentioned were exactly what I was thinking as well. And a couple of other points was that she really talked a lot about vision, and that vision is what you see when your eyes are closed, and really that what he's called you to do. If you are in this, I think initially that we get in Mary Kay, to make a little extra money or whatever tangible benefit, but the longer you stay in, your reasons change. And so when you know what he's called you to do, you've got to look at that vision and not by sight. And just like Selah said, when that best isn't good enough, see what it is that needs to be changed. And he knows, one of the other thoughts that really spoke to me was that God knows what's necessary for the vision that he has for you. And she flippantly said, my God can win a caddy through any one of you. And so, God is big enough, and he's got the resources lined up, but it does take our obedience to go out and find those women and speak to them and share this opportunity with them. And so look at what distracts you, and then, do something about it. Don't just, analyze it and look at it, whatever, but do something and change something about it. Because someone else's dream is attached to your vision and your goals. He knows, and he knows what you're dealing with. He knows the answers, but he's just waiting for you to be faithful to that. And she said, go to bed, let that girl that has these things that are holding her back, let her go to bed tonight and wake up the yes girl in the morning. The yes, you will do his plan. Yes, you will trust his wisdom. And then when you're looking for women on your team, look for women with high obedience levels. everybody's going to be coming in at different confidence levels, different skill sets, but look for women that will be obedient. One of my pastors always said, look for people that are fat, faithful, available, and teachable. And, you need that in the church world, but you also need that in the Mary Kay world, because you need them to be faithful. Just these women that you've heard tonight that, came to an event that they really didn't even know what to expect. They had faith in the process, and they were available to the process, and they had a teachable spirit. And those are the people that are going to move up in the company. And those are the people that you want on your team, because they're going to be with you for the long haul. And the other thing was, are you expecting to get all that you want, or are you expecting to get the things that you don't want? And someone else mentioned earlier about getting up every morning and saying your affirmations. And that's a foundational skill set that Mary Kay has taught since the company has been in existence. But how many of us actually do those every day faithfully? And so when you've got a battlefield going on in your mind about worry and anxiety and double-mindedness and those kind of things, we do have to train ourselves first and get that emotional intelligence to get a strong foundation in what we need to do. She said God is into those suddenlies. However, she also said that most overnight successes happen after 10,000 hours of training and preparation. And so even if, those of us that have been in for a long time and maybe we've had big goals that, haven't always achieved them, those things that we're doing are digging the deep root structure in the business. And so the roots dig deep, and it does take time to get that root system in place. But then you see massive growth once the time is ready for you. And so, but you do have to do those things. You have to do the pruning and the watering and the tending of the soil to prepare it for your business. And so, but just do the things that you need to do and take the activity that you need to do so that you can start reaching the harvest. It says there's more risk in not doing it than in doing it. So go full out to whatever your vision is and get others focused. Then she said, don't let others' opinions matter, because they do not have to hear good and faithful servant for you. So seek the approval of one and do everything as unto the Lord is how I also take that as well. So, and she does say that within 72 hours, you have to do something different or it will only add to your frustration. So those of you that didn't go this weekend that are just hearing this information, you got 72 hours. But the others of us that went, by tomorrow, we've got to make massive changes in our business if we want to see exponential results from the things that we've learned. So I just want to encourage everyone to do that and to join me and join the rest of us and really have a fantastic November and December to really reach your goals. Like we've said many times, it only takes one day to bake a turkey. So we've got a lot more days in this month that we can really be selling and recruiting and reaching out to women that really need this opportunity. And, you know, if they sign up now, they get the tax breaks for 2018. So,
hey, that's right. Good point. Good point. Loree, that was great. Your I story was great on stage. I was so proud of my directors. I was so proud. Janet and Judy Boston did a beautiful Christmas display. And I know Janet taught the red jackets, and then Loree and Sayla both sharing on stage their I story. It was just, you guys are just women of excellence. And everybody that knows me and knows my directors and know my consultants, they just are always bragging. They're like, you got the best girls. I said, I know. My team is awesome. And so speak what you want, right? You guys did a great job. Thank you. There's a few that were not able to get on here tonight. If for some reason you were on here incognito, I apologize. Box me later and we'll put you on for next week. But really, you shared it all. I went through and I just want to mention one thing that I thought was, maybe two, that I thought was really good that no one mentioned in our director class. That, you know, sometimes how you recruit personal use people are, you know, we're looking for people that are trying to work a business. But every now and then you got a girl that says, hey, I just want to get this. Can I just get in and just get my own stuff at cost? And you're like, okay, you know, and you let them do it. And so we call them personal use consultants. I mean, Mary Kay never came up with that. She probably would have hated if you even said that. But anyway, and then some people have called them personal use, P use, like they stink. Well, Lynn said that we should never say that and never act like they're less than. They're our sleeping beauties, and that we know there's a giant inside waiting to come out, and there's seeds of greatness in that woman, our personal use consultant. So they're just sleeping beauties, and you never know. Well, one day they're going to wake up and let that sleeping giant out and join us and actually be a part of the company as a consultant, and really build a business. So think about that when you recruit someone, and then may they just kind of go into a sleeping beauty. There are sleeping beauties, and love them like that, because you just never know when something might change and they come back, just like Loree did. She was asleep. She was up, and then she was a sleeping beauty for like 12 years. And then the seed came back out, the seeds of greatness, after one event that she went to, and she came back and became a sales director again. So I think that's amazing. I really, really like that. And then let me see. I think I highlight just like 3 or 4 things. Go ahead, Loree.
Hey, Kalina, one more thing that I meant to say, because I thought it was so cute. And, sometimes we, especially when we're desperate to get that 8 or that 3 or that 5 or whatever that desperation number is, it's like, we're looking for anybody and everybody. And one of the things that Dawn said in her deal Friday night, she's like, well, if they're constantly not calling you back, or if they've rebooked, multiple times, then, she's like, she's not your girl. If she's crazy, or she, whatever the excuse or the reason, she just kept saying, she's not your girl. And it almost lets you release certain people, gives you permission to release them, because there are people that are your girl. And so I thought that was something that I needed to hear, and just let them go, because we just need to up our faith level that God has those people lined out for us that are our girls.
Yes, that's good. And even she mentioned that when you try to book somebody, she said, you see a girl and you see something that you like about her, and you go and compliment her and give her a compliment and say, I just love your outfit. And she goes, if she turns around and is not kind and gracious back, she's not your girl. Why you want to bring somebody like that on your team? That can't even accept a compliment or go, thank you, or someone that's rude back to you. She ain't your girl. And so I love that. Yeah, if you call them 400 times, you text them, and they never text, she's not your girl, just move on. She might come back and be your girl later, but right now she's not your girl. I love that. Okay, I wanted to mention that, and most of you know this, but there are just three foundations the company was built on. The golden rule, God first, family second, career third, and that everyone has a seed of greatness that God planted in you. And if we can remember those things, I think that will help us with our business. And then Dawn talked to the directors, and she was talking about our distractions, and she said, do you spend more time on Facebook scrolling through the news feed at other people's lives than you do in God's word? And I'm like, okay, that not need to be highlighted. So that's the first little thing I put in the back of my book. Spend more time in the Bible than on Facebook. And, of course, we use Facebook as a business, or I do, for our group page and all that. But as far as just sitting there and constant, like I'm just sitting there and I'm just going scroll, 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 scroll. And all of a sudden you look up and you've been doing this. I got arthritis in my hand thinking about it. I've been doing it for 30 minutes. And I'm thinking, where's my time? I don't have time to make calls, because I'm scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Keep my fingers scrolling. No. So I'm going to limit myself to my scroll time, and I'm definitely going to do it after 9, like when I'm just sitting there looking. And, of course, I like to get on there to make sure that if one of my consultants says something awesome that I, compliment them and everything. But we do need to limit that time on there and just watch it, especially in the morning. Just kind of go to your if you got to go to your page, and go to your Mary Kay Facebook page with your unit and see what's going on, and then let's move on and make some, take some action. So I want to just I think my internet is unstable. Okay, I want to just thank everybody. You did a great job. I am so proud of each of you. I know that everybody on here could say the same, and so I'm so proud of y'all. We have the most amazing leaders, and thank you for the other units that are on here supporting our Boss Babe call. And we do this every Sunday night at 9 o'clock. We would love to have you join in each and every Sunday night. And there'll always be something exciting to talk about, right? So this is the week before Thanksgiving. This is the week to really get some stuff done before you get into turkey basting mode. So I know we're going to have a lot of things to celebrate between now and next week. Of course, the computer is going to be a little different looking tomorrow because they are rolling out the whole new My Business. So when you click on InTouch and you go to My Business, it is going to look different. There are going to be different tabs. There's going to be different things. But once you get used to it, you're going to like it a lot better. It's going to be neater and cleaner. But don't freak out if you can't find something right at first. But it will be rolling out tomorrow. And so you'll be able to see all the new changes with that. And so anyway, you guys have a great week. I am just going to start the recording.